What is the administration's plan to lower gas prices?
We've taken the many.
Are you in favor of eliminating the gas tax?
Bessent dodges a question that couldn't be more straightforward, and that's exactly why this matters. Larson, a former history teacher who understands what working families deal with every day, cuts through the talking points and forces the conversation back to reality. Let's watch what happens next.
Always kind of unusual when you start a hearing and are instructed what you can say or can't say in an open and free democracy. But having said that, you mentioned in your testimony core inflation a couple of times. What's the difference between core inflation and inflation?
Many people believe, or it is in general, energy prices and food prices, which are much more fast-moving. And I would say that energy prices will roll down when this Iran conflict ends.
So is gasoline considered part of core inflation?
Yes, sir.
It is. So those remarks, core inflation reflects gasoline prices.
Core inflation, it reflects the underlying trend in inflation and whether that inflation has become endemic to the system as it did during President Biden's
Has the war in Iran had anything to do with core inflation?
Sir?
Does the war in Iran have anything to do with core inflation? Or you can't answer that, or either, or are we precluded from asking that?
Well, I'm not sure what the question is.
Let me make it as simple as I can. Does the war in Iran, are you with me? Does the war in Iran
thus far,
have witnessed the rise in gas prices as it caused?
Well, again, that is the regular inflation, and gas prices have gone up, which I believe will be temporary.
So gas prices have gone up, but you believe they're temporary.
Core inflation has dropped 0.5% since President Trump came to office.
Because this is the moment the narrative starts to fall apart. Scott Bessent just acknowledged that rising fuel costs are hitting Americans, then immediately pointed to lower core inflation as proof the economy is improving. That's not a slip. That's the argument. Here's why it matters. Core inflation was designed to strip out volatile categories like food and energy, so economists could track longer-term price trends. But for families paying more at the grocery store and the gas station, those are the costs that matter most. While officials highlight improvements in core inflation, Americans are still dealing with higher everyday expenses. Gas prices have climbed in many markets, driven by global supply concerns, geopolitical tensions, and uncertainty in energy markets. Those costs don't stay at the pump. They ripple through transportation, shipping, and consumer prices across the economy. For working families, this isn't an economic theory. It's a household budget. It's commuters spending more to get to work, small businesses facing higher operating costs, and families stretching every dollar a little further. Bessent calls the pressure temporary. Critics argue that doesn't change the reality people are experiencing right now. And that's the point John Larson was making. Statistics may tell one story, but families paying more for gas and essentials are living another. In a few minutes, Larson cut through the talking points and forced the discussion back to what people actually see when they swipe their card at the pump.
You know, when I'm home in my district, I'm going to just tell those people, geez, you know what? You've missed this whole thing. Don't you understand core inflation? You guys are better off. I mean, these gas prices, I don't know what you people are thinking out there. For God's sake, you know, you should be doing cartwheels in the street over the price of gas. So what is the administration's plan to lower gas prices?
We've taken the many.
Are you in favor of eliminating the gas tax?
We have moved to.
Are you in favor of eliminating the gas tax?
We would like to work.
Are you able to answer that, or is that not answered?
Well, if I'm not interrupted, I can, Congressman.
Well, I'm waiting for your answer.
We have asked Congress to move to eliminate the gas tax. That is done through statute.
You have moved that. So you're in favor of eliminating the gas tax?
We have asked for that.
So we can join bipartisanly today because you're in favor to eliminate the gas tax.
Again, the White House has asked for it, sir.
They have? Why isn't it before the committee for a vote?
I don't run the agenda.
Well, it's good to hear that we're in favor of something that we can work on bipartisanly that will help relieve people who need it the most. Forgive me, but people in my district aren't doing cartwheels over this economy. They haven't seen the impact that you claim that they're all receiving. People hear a lot of rhetoric, et cetera, but that doesn't pay their grocery bills. That doesn't pay their heating costs. That doesn't put fuel in their tanks. That doesn't help them get through the day-to-day grind of their lives. And so coming here and filling us with platitude and telling us how grateful we should be to the Trump administration for everything that it's done.
Larson's sarcasm lands because it reflects what millions of Americans are already feeling. Nobody is celebrating higher prices at the pump. Nobody is doing cartwheels over paying more for the basics. While officials point to economic indicators, families are dealing with rising costs in everyday life. Grocery bills are higher, utility costs remain a strain, and fuel prices continue to pressure household budgets. For many Americans, that's not a statistic, it's a monthly reality. What frustrates critics even more is that some policies have added to those costs. Tariffs on imported goods increase expenses for businesses, and those costs often work their way through supply chains into consumer prices. Economists warned about that possibility long before the debate reached Washington. Meanwhile, families continue making difficult choices. Parents stretch paychecks further than ever. Seniors juggle expenses on fixed incomes. Workers take extra hours simply to keep up with rising costs. Then comes the contradiction Larson highlights. The administration says it supports eliminating the federal gas tax to provide relief, yet the proposal hasn't moved forward through the legislative process. To critics, that creates a gap between rhetoric and action. That's why Larson's comments resonated. He wasn't talking about economic theories or government talking points. He was talking about what people see every week when they buy groceries, pay bills, and fill up their gas tanks. And that's a reality no statistic can easily dismiss.
Well, Congressman,
Is this war responsible for any of this?
Congressman, food at home is up 2.5% since President Trump took office.
Are we at war currently?
Which is twice.
Are we
It's
at
up
war
twice that much
currently?
every year under the Biden administration.
Are we at war currently?
That the conflict has been halted.
The conflict has been halted. So we're not at war. So our military is not involved. We're not at war.
Again, if you would like for me to call the Secretary of War, I can ask. I'm the Secretary
So
of
as part of the
Treasury.
administration and as part of this, we're not at war. How in God's name, if we can't answer any questions at all, and I don't know, maybe there were some special orders where we're not allowed to these questions or not. We ought to make that clear. Are we at war or not? I'm asking as relation to the cost of going up for oil and gas. That hasn't risen. Has it risen because of the war?
It did rise because of the conflict, yes, sir.
The conflict. So that's what we call it. Our people go into battle and lose their lives.
Mr. Larson, your time has expired.
Here it is, the moment that defined the entire hearing. Watch as Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent repeatedly avoids using the word war, even while discussing a situation involving American troops and rising energy costs. Instead, he falls back on the term conflict. Then comes the most striking moment. When pressed, Bessent jokes about calling the Secretary of War, a cabinet position that hasn't existed since 1947. Whether it was a slip or an attempt to deflect, the exchange immediately shifted attention away from the question itself. And that's exactly what Larson was focused on. He wasn't debating terminology. He was asking a straightforward question about whether military action and instability abroad were contributing to higher energy prices at home. By avoiding a direct answer, Bessent left the central issue unresolved. Meanwhile, Americans continue feeling the economic impact. Higher oil prices can ripple through the economy, affecting transportation, shipping, and consumer costs far beyond the gas station. That's why Larson kept pressing. For him, the issue wasn't about political language. It was about accountability. If military actions are affecting prices and impacting American families, he argued, then officials should be willing to speak plainly about both the costs and the consequences. And throughout the exchange, Larson refused to let the conversation drift away from that point.